This is my personal experience in understanding that, you know, before we were conceived even, we existed in some form of energy. There's always going to be energy. It transfers from one vessel to another. I do believe in reincarnation. I do believe that our soul contains longevity of information and experiences. And so before we're conceived in the womb, we exist. I do believe that. And so in what form do we exist? And how do we bring in that knowledge and experience? Look at the personality of a child. You know, some of that is coming in. You know, you ever have, I mean, you've got kids, I've got kids. You go, where did they get that from? Well, it's not from me, it's not from you. And we're wondering, where's that coming from?
Right, right.
That's coming from them. They brought it in with them when they arrived here. And so the form of energy we took, before the physical form, there had to be a consciousness and energy, right, that's coming into our physical being. And so for me, my research that I've done, bioelectricity is a form of energy that actually helps regulate our growth, metabolism, the ability to breathe. There's an intelligence behind you sitting here, even taking a breath. We take it for granted because we're desensitized to that. Just sitting here inhaling and exhaling, there is an intelligence that says, Clark, you need to breathe.
Right.
Every 10 to 12 seconds, you better inhale or something's going to happen. You don't even think about it because we've been doing it all our lives. But that first breath is pretty painful, right?
And you really hit the nail on the head. There's so many things. Sometimes when I'm sitting around, I think about how marvelous the human body is and how many functions and things that we do as I'm looking at a person that happens, but we never think about it. We think it's some, you know, it's on autopilot, but there's an energy that, like you said, that functions and runs those things on a constant basis. So it's interesting. And I'm going off tangent here, but just follow me with this a little bit, because I'm happy when I speak with you. The same principle when we talk about energy coming into this existence, and we understand that the law of science is energy is consistent, and that energy just transfers; it's never dissipated. So it reminds me of when we do leave this corporal form, that our energies have to go somewhere. I mean, just by logic. And do you talk about any of that, or what's your thoughts on that? I know that's not part of your book.
I do have thoughts on that. I keep saying to my friends, I said, the last book I write will be about the details of my journey, crossing over and leaving the physical world, because as I said, energy transfers from one form to another. And so some people who have been put in a traumatic situation, it could have been a car accident or something traumatic happens, they have an out-of-body experience. You know, when people say, I saw myself lying there and, doctors were working on me, but I was observing myself. That's an example of transferring energy. That consciousness has moved out of the physical body. And sometimes it's to protect the psyche because something traumatic and painful has happened. So that energy is there, but it's still conscious. You're observing yourself, right? Many people can relate to that statement. Many people can relate to having a strong sense, someone's in danger, I need to reach out to so-and-so, something's happened, let me call so-and-so. That's that same connection that we have to a very intelligent energy source. So in my personal experience, that energy transfers when that little heart stops beating and we stop breathing. You can transfer, that energy transfers out of the physical form into a different state of consciousness. And then we move on. And many people who have worked with people who have crossed over will tell you there's different stages we move through over time, depending, I believe, on how we lived our life here. And eventually, we should move on to a higher plane and be able to explore even higher experiences beyond the physical world. So that's my belief on that.